morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. My name is Nakia Nelson. I am currently the chair of our DI committee. And what we want to do in our committee was start the pivot off with a bang. And how do we do that? By recognizing Realtor Safety Awareness Month. So there's not a special month that you need to be aware or be safe, but why not be in keeping with NAR? So what we've done with the help of our good friend Deesh, she said, hey, I know somebody who could talk to us about some real life safety in our everyday life. So we have Andrea Williams with Silhouette, who's going to talk to us about, hey, how we can be safe from her perspective. I'm not going to go into her bio. I'll let her talk more about her to do herself justice. But here she is, Andrea Williams with Silhouette to talk about some things. But before she comes up, let me get some housekeeping notes. If you would, I know we're all busy. Silence your phones. If you have to take a phone call, do that. We're all busy, right? There will be some food coming a little bit later. We'll make a little bit of announcement. So I know we get hungry. I'm hungry now. I ain't eat breakfast. My bad. My bad. But give her your full attention. She will open up with questions. Believe me, this is a safe space. If you want to share, she'll give you an opportunity. We're all friends, we're family here. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right, without any further ado, Andrea.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, where's the Zoom camera? Hey, y'all! How you doing? All right. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Andrea E. Williams. I am the owner and lead firearms instructor for Silhouette's Firearms Training. We are transitioning to Silhouette's Personal Safety and Defense Solutions. I am a personal safety consultant. I am also a U.S. Army veteran. I have experience as a military police and experience as an information systems specialist, and that is what my career entailed. And so I have to really thank all of you for welcoming me here. Thank you, Deesh, for recommending me. Safety is my thing. Now, in honor of this month, I was asked to do a presentation. Now, with the presentation, it may come across as something that a lot of you already know because you have your different experiences as a realtor. I'm not asking you to look only within yourself. I'm asking you to also think about the new realtor, the person who is new to the industry and may not have any idea about safety and what that looks like because they're trying to make money. They're trying to get their clients. And so that's really what they're concerned with. So why safety is critical for realtors? Of course, we understand, of course, from a human aspect, that's why safety should be important to all of us. One of my statements is that we as a people have to be proactive instead of reactive. So what I am here to do today is to discuss prevention. I want those prevention tips that we are able to just have for ourselves. I know everyone here is a realtor, everyone out there is a realtor, but maybe there are key points that you would establish for yourself that a realtor may not need. It may be something for your daughter, your partner, your spouse, just something that is everyday life. So we'll discuss the prevention strategies. We'll also discuss situational awareness. I love situational awareness because it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, and what you're doing. Situational awareness will be pivotal to your safety. Also, we will talk about personal defense tools. Now, with the personal defense tools in the realtor industry, technology certainly serves its purpose. And so we will highlight just some of the technological tools that you would have at your discretion. I also want to say the tools that I mentioned are not tools that I have used myself. It is not a tool that I am endorsing either. What I am endorsing is that whatever the tools that you choose for yourself in this industry, you ensure that you are trained properly on that tool. And that includes those apps. If you don't understand exactly what the app does and how to maximize its use, you should absolutely seek training. And part of the training is YouTube. YouTube is a great resource for technological apps, especially when they walk you from step A to step Z. So the risk for realtors, of course, is meeting strangers alone, showing vacant properties, also working those irregular hours, and you are viewed as soft targets. So research has shown that women are usually considered the softer targets. You're the easiest. Why do you believe that it would be women or ladies that are considered soft targets for someone? Anybody?
Pure physics.
Physics, so physical disposition, right? The physical build. Is there anything else?
Can't fight back.
Elaborate a little bit more for me. Can't fight back.
Like I mentioned, I can just overpower you, I can dominate you with least resistance.
Absolutely. And so typically, so yes.
I was gonna say also, women a lot of times tend to be like more nurturing, so they'll welcome people more.
Yes. And welcome people more, and then try not to lean into the discomfort. Like we talk ourselves out of the discomfort, meaning I may feel something. Intuition tells me I don't like this. I don't like how this person looks, speaks, or how they're behaving. It's making me uncomfortable. But then as women, we will talk ourselves out of our own intuition. Is this facts or right? We will talk ourselves right out of it. And so certainly when we're speaking about prevention, I want to highlight just that point. Even though I know that we have our gentlemen with us, what I want to say to the ladies is if instinct, if your intuition, if the spiritual discernment, if the energy, whatever it is that you refer to, it tells you that this does not feel right, listen to that. You can apologize late, but at least you have your life and your well-being to be able to say that I listened to my instinct because something said that this wasn't right. Self-awareness, what that looks like for me is being able to understand my biases. Self-awareness means that, yes, I do know that I have biases. I know that maybe I have a disability. Maybe I'm colorblind. So I'm not able to maybe tell what colors someone is wearing properly because I'm colorblind. Maybe I have a disability that says that I'm not able to run. All these things will matter when I bring it back full circle. All right. You have to be aware of yourself. That is a non-compromise, non-negotiable. Prevention also looks like accountability. This is why this second bullet point is clear. Always share your schedule. There should be someone who is accountable for you. Now, I would imagine in your industry, I think that y'all are all like individual employees, like you work for yourself, so you make your own schedule. Who's your accountability partner? Is it an office? What does that look like? Your husband. So not necessarily a headquarters that is like keeping up with you. So your spouse, all right,
I
right.
have team leads.
Team leads.
Yeah, some people I can call on and be like, hey, this is who I'm meeting with today,
Mhm.
so they're aware of what's going on.
Okay. All in all, accountability has to be a part of your preventative plan. It has to be someone who knows you. So also in the accountability, we want to speak to habits. So I'm asking you, what are some bad habits that you have? Bad. Bad habits. Just
So I forget what my wife calls it, patterns of something. Like when I'm getting out my everyday, what I'm doing every day, pattern of life, I think she call it. Whatever it is. But you know, when I'm getting ready in the morning, got my phone in my hand,
Mhm.
right? Cranking my car up in the driveway and going back in the house.
so a
and
routine.
Just my routine, and then I'm just not very, I'm just used to my routine, and I'm not paying any attention to my surroundings.
Right, because you're safe.
Yeah,
Feel
I
safe
all the
with-
time.
Right? This is all the time. And I do want to say in your home, that is where we feel the most safe.
Right.
And this is where we lose that situational awareness, which is wrong as well. A bad habit that I have is perhaps I will when I decompress, when I get home, as I am pulling into my driveway, I will not get out of my vehicle. I will stay in my vehicle and just breathe, look at social media or something. That is a bad habit, but I have that for myself. The reason why I bring up habits is because people outside of you, your accountability partners, absolutely need to know about the habits that you have. Therefore, if something were to go awry that you don't know, we don't know what has happened, but your accountability partner knows that you were somewhere, they knew that you were somewhere with someone, they're able to say and speak with confidence that that is not her habit. That is not usually what she does. If she misses a client who she was scheduled to be with, then perhaps maybe the client is calling to see if the realtor is actually coming. If you're not there, this should be a red flag to someone who cares about your well-being, your accountability partner. Also, in essence, to that, when we're speaking about accountability, you want to make sure very much, in fact, that the accountability partner will truly be accountable for you. This is something that is important. So that is a responsibility. Also, using the buddy system. This is something that is very important. Very important, not just for realtors, but just as girlfriends going out or groups of people going out. You want a buddy system. We shouldn't go to places alone. Also, you want to assess potential clients before a face-to-face meeting. And while there are cost-effective ways to do this, of course, you can buy into the technological processes of that. Sorry. All right. So situational awareness means that you are aware of the exits. My recommendation is if you're going to you're going to show a home, you should access blueprints to that home so that you're able to know where everything in the home is. That includes your exits. This would be windows. This would also be closets. Because if something is happening, maybe you cannot get out of the house. Where would you go inside of a house that you're showing to give yourself some time to be able to get prepared for, if you would, the fight, if that's what it will come down to? What does that look like? Also, situational awareness looks like noticing unusual behavior. So What does unusual behavior from a realtor to client perspective look like? To me, I would think that it looks like someone who is sketchy. Someone maybe with big eyes and they're just looking around. That is a red flag. That would be a red flag for me. What are some red flags for you that shows unusual behavior?
I heard a story about someone who went around locking doors and blocking windows and making sure everything was blocked in as that person and the realtor were in the house.
Yes, that is very unusual
Yeah.
behavior.
Broken windows, or when you get there because the home is supposed to be secure. So, one time I was showing a property and I walked in on, the back door was open, it was an investment property. And there were squatters in there.
Mhm.
And that was my first time that happened to me, and I just got really, really nervous, and I don't feel like I handled it the best. I was like, y'all get out of here. That was in my face. I couldn't get out of there, right? And calling the cops for my owners,
Yeah.
for my clients, but, we live in
And so, no, I love it. You live and you learn. Because it's very important. Certainly, when we're showing properties, we want to avoid those distractions. So even though you should absolutely have your phone on your person, because that is a tool, that is a personal defense tool that you would use. You want that phone on your person, for sure. What you don't want are AirPods in your ears. You don't want headphones on, anything that distracts you from the reality of things. What is the reality? The reality is my showing, what I'm doing. So we kind of touched on this question, but what are some warning signs that would tell you not to go into a property before you would enter that property? What is things that you
Door
would
open
an
door.
open door? That's a
Open
good one.
window.
Broken window. Is there anything else?
Just stand out front of the property.
People just standing out randomly that you did not expect to be there. Yes, that's a good one. Anything else?
Even filthy, like fresh stuff. Somebody spoke about fresh poop in a closet.
Yep, that was Deesh last. Yep.
Yeah,
You got all the stories.
yeah.
Yes.
When I first started, I was like, oh.
And so, to that point, what I would want to know, and I want y'all to be honest, and I don't know out there in Zoom if you can answer, but I want to know, are there certain warning signs that you don't consider a warning? You just kind of say that's the way it is. No, there aren't. So if you saw the door wide open, you're saying that you would not go inside of that property? You're laughing. Because I know someone, I know that it's a, listen, I
perceive it possible that.
I'm
There it
if
is.
it's an investment property and I know that, you know, maybe I've been there before and the door was not the best secure or something. You know, I'm not gonna go alone. I'm gonna have something on me, when I have a weapon on me. And I'm gonna go.
you're gonna go.
I'm probably gonna go.
Yes,
It's
you know,
my client's property, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Cause if I'm familiar with the property, I know there's something. Like right now, I have a listing now, it's a homeless guy who sleeps on the front porch right now. And he actually watches the property. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just, he watches the property.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay. I'm gonna get to it. Because listen, y'all, listen, let me be clear. This is not a badger session. We have to speak truth to power here. We have to understand that it is not all black and white. There are some gray areas.
But mattress, he had an old mattress, I had to get rid of the old mattress and I got him a sleeping bag so he could roll up, right, take it away, take it.
But here's the difference between that situation and any other situation. It's the familiarity. She knows. I would imagine that you at least know first name basis. Exactly. So that is my point is that there's familiarity there. So that's a part of the composition. That's a part of like your routine with that particular property. Also speaking to the familiarity is her knowing the property. It's an investment property. I know that Harry sleeps on the porch. I got Harry to get rid of that mattress and I got him a sleeping bag and he kind of watches the property for me. There's knowledge there. So this is something that is important. Yes.
Showing time or warn the buyer's agents about Harry.
Another thing, that's good.
So it's not his showing time yet, it's the purchase that, but he knows that when it gets ready to go on the market, he has to go. But he's there for right now. Oh, it's very good listing, you're still preparing the house for sale? Yes. Yes. That's the one you're.
Yep.
Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek,
Okay. Yes. Wow. Really? Cedar Creek?
Right.
Okay. Well, we learn stuff. Yeah, we learn stuff every day. I'm surprised, but I understand it. And so, of course, we want to meet our clients in public first. We need to verify their client identity and, of course, schedule during daytime hours. Sometimes this is not feasible. So, of course, there are apps like Forewarn that allow us to know exactly who and what we are dealing with. Yes.
May I ask a question now?
Yeah, of course.
It says scheduled during daytime hours, right?
Mhm.
So how about, what do you advise when your hours kick in and the time goes back and it gets dark at 5 p.m.?
Yep.
What's your advice?
Yep, and so of course for me, because I know that that's not feasible, when it's like maybe winter, fall. For me, it would be what I've just mentioned about the buddy system. And also, what I will get into those technological personal defense tools, like your Life 360. Um, uh, yes, like your forewarn. Yes, like someone else is accountable for you. So they actually know your schedule, they know where you're supposed to be. Um, I think that there is a little bit more to the accountability partner. Because they would know your schedule, but they would also know if you have a word. Because you would have discussed that with your accountability partner. If you ever call your accountability partner and you're in trouble, there should be a word that triggers an alert inside of them that it lets them know that you are truly in trouble. But we could get into that. That's what I would recommend. Did I answer your question?
You did, thank you so much.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to say about it getting darker earlier, I had listed one time
Mhm.
and it didn't have any utilities on, it was an investment, it was a fixer. And people were going to see this property like at 8:30 at night. And I just, I put it in the MLS, take a flashlight, but what I realized that we could do through showing time is adjust the showing hours. So I cut off hours like at 6:30 or 7 when it was getting dark, so nobody could schedule anything after that. That I was doing my due diligence for not having any, because people will invest like, I'll just go at 9 o'clock and look at the property. Well, that's okay for you, but it's not okay for me, so.
And to that point, I also want to say that there are options. I noticed that we look at the ending of our days, but also the beginning of our days. Even though it gets dark earlier, it gets light earlier as well. So you are able to potentially use the morning hours as well. And I would recommend that, even though I know, like me, I don't like to get up early. But that's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice for the business. When it comes to vehicles, the best practice, of course, is not to park in the driveway. It is to park on the street. However, the truth of the matter is it may not be feasible. So if that is not feasible for you, the recommendation then is to park your vehicle facing the street. So that means that you would have to reverse inside of that driveway, but you park it on one side of the driveway. Because what we don't want to do is have people to box us in. But this also speaks to another dynamic of self-awareness. How certain are you that you would be able to run from the house to your vehicle, get in your vehicle, lock yourself in your vehicle, without, like, I guess, like stopping or being out of breath? And so this brings to the other dynamic that we absolutely have to make sure for ourselves that we are in decent shape, because she knows that's my thing. She knows me.
Got it.
We have to. And I'm saying this, doesn't matter how you look. Andrea doesn't care about your weight. Look, I'm battling my own stuff, all right? What I'm speaking to is being able to endure the fight or the flight. Are you healthy enough to do that? And that has to matter. That needs to resonate with you. If something were to happen, obviously Andrea's tone is you fight for your life. That's exactly what you're doing, fighting for your life. But if there is a moment to get away, you're able to get away. Can you run? Adrenaline says yes. But if you don't exercise those lungs, okay, no. So it's going to say and so we want that mindfulness, that, and that is also speaking to self-awareness, y'all. Of course, we kind of touched on this. You want to limit those after hours appointments. Deesh did mention that you are able to, pretty much in some space, you said
Showing time for people schedule a tour to home.
you are able to adjust those hours. And so when it comes to those winter months, those fall months, you want to adjust those hours so that it reflects how comfortable you feel. Also to that, panic buttons. If you're in a actual facility like this, or you have an office that you welcome people into, you want those panic buttons installed. But there's more. You can also have cameras that are installed. Everybody seems to have a Ring camera, and so you're able to have that. You also want to know those emergency exits, because you would want to know. And to that point, with the emergency exits in businesses, it is supposed to be a certain way that it is locked. You're not supposed to have a bunch of chains and bolts to an emergency exit. And so you want the knowledge, the information of how would I be able to exit out properly. So is it a turn knob where the lock turns the minute that the knob is engaged? The lock unlocks the minute that I'm able to touch and squeeze that knob. The lock is going to do what it's supposed to do. You want knowledge of that. What does that doorway look like? Of course, you want to arrive early to check the property. My recommendation also is, if a property, typically with our homes, it has like your front entrance, it also has your rear entrance. Unlock the rear entrance for yourself so that you know that if something were to happen, you have a couple of good ways to get out of there. The front door and that rear door. So unlock that for yourself.
I have a question.
Yes.
When showing a series of properties to a client, how would you handle the get there early to check the property if you're just bouncing from one to the next?
You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I do think it's important to arrive early, because we should be arriving early and turn on the lights and open the windows
But
and
if
stuff, but
you have 6 in succession.
Exactly.
I know, that's what I was saying, but it definitely makes it hard to do that when you're showing a lot of homes.
Yeah, and so to that point, if it is not feasible to arrive early, and let's just say that you're arriving on time, ask the clients to just stand by and let you assess the home. That's it. You see, like for a client like myself, I would appreciate that because oh, she was willing to get jumped and not. Hey, but do you understand what I'm saying? Just tell them, hey, do you mind just staying here? Let me check out the property. Let me go ahead and get things situated for you. I believe your clients, potential clients would appreciate that. So that is a way that you can do that.
And one thing I do when I'm not able to go in and turn on all the lights and check, when I do have my clients behind me, I open the door and I don't know if anybody else does this, but I holler. I holler into the house, hello, right? It might start with somebody. So when you holler hello, you can listen for pitter patter or somebody moving. That's how I found the. I hollered hello and I was a whole bunch and I was like, right? So just if you're unable to do that, just open the door and holler. You hear the echo because the home is empty, you know, you're good, but you're listening for pitter patter and any movement inside the house.
Yes, and I love that. That is situational awareness. To that point, though, I would like to know when you're working with clients, who's in the front and who's in the rear?
Client is in the front, you're trailing them.
Okay, is this all the time?
No, if you're a couple, if I've known them for a while, tend to kind of switch up.
Right.
Yeah, and I
Okay,
tend to, as soon as they enter the house, I have a habit of locking the front door because of crazy people coming in.
coming in,
I-
so coming in behind,
Yeah.
Lock the door behind you.
okay?
Once you secure the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, also, to this point, when we're talking about showing property, you want to make sure that your phone is on your person. So when I'm saying that, that even includes if you decide to have a purse or a fanny pack or a crossbody purse, but your phone needs to be with you on your person because the phones and the way that they are made now, it has a tracking device inside of it. So we want that. It is also important to have your key fob. Have that key fob with you as well. And I think
Do
you
you have those bracelets, there are those bracelets that have the little things
String.
on them? And you can press the button if you're in distress or.
Yep. So this would be your personal alarms. Well, I don't have bracelets. I have keychains. And I'll have that on display at the rally. I hope to see y'all at the rally. But I have those things. So a personal alarm which you're able to have. Also, as I have said, have the exit strategy. So even though if you go into a property and you're locking yourself in by the front door, you have knowledge that you have also unlocked that back door so that you're able to have easy exit way for yourself if you had to get into something. So my next question for you is, what would you do if a client insists on meeting late at night? And I believe that you've probably had that. And are there any exceptions? I think that you've already said the exception is, I know them.
But my
So-
husband still comes along.
Yes. Say it again?
My spouse will also.
Yes, okay, so you have someone that's right there. All right, so if the client insists on meeting late at night, is that okay? Is that acceptable to you?
Absolutely not.
I could tell, she's like, I don't wanna say I don't care. But I'm cool with it. All right. What about the rest of you?
You must own pew pew.
Don't worry, I'm gonna come back to you, since I know that, and it's out there. What about?
I understand there are exceptions. I have a
Yep.
client right now, we're under contract now, but when we were doing the showings, he could only meet after 5 p.m. It is light hours, so
Mhm.
latest I go is like 7:30 and it was still bright outside. So,
I'm so.
dark hours definitely
Yeah,
would change.
yeah. But I feel the need to justify myself because that time I did it, it was a young lady who was working nursing hours. And the house, the perfect house for her and the family, as much as she could have afforded, just came on the market. I didn't want her to lose it.
Yeah.
And it was 9 p.m. and my husband and I, and it was like 10 minutes away. So we drove up together to go show her and then home. That was, it's not something normal.
Right,
Yeah.
but see, that's an exception. Right, and I would love to think that you kind of did have familiarity with that client. It's not just someone who's calling like, hey, I'm Andrea Williams, I need to see this property at 10 p.m. It isn't anything like
No properties that late.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, even though you're saying that you can't show properties that late, do you think that there are realtors who? Yes, right?
Yeah.
So again, my ask here is I don't want us to lean on how we handle business because we may do things excellently and in order. There's someone else though that is not. This message has to be for them. Oh, yeah, all right. We want to try to combat that. So certainly we do understand that there are exceptions. We know, and we also understand that it just depends on what we're feeling in that moment. Intuition. Those technology tools, we've already pretty much talked about it. The Forewarn, the Super E-Key, the Life 360, you have the GPS tracking. I know that they have like the little, oh God, what is it called? On Apple side. The
Tag.
there it is. All right, so there are these things. If someone tracking.
How would it be?
So you're able to put it somewhere, you could put it in your vehicle, you could put it in your bag, and it tracks it. The air tag, it hits, it pings, it tracks like where that location is as far as for iPhone users. Now, I don't know on the other side, what do y'all have?
Something.
Exactly. I'm just saying, but I'm not saying.
They're willing
Well, I suppose we have like BCC. You also have your emergency alert systems. However, that is something that, okay, hold on one second. When you involve more and more humans, the message seems to get diluted. So just hear me out here. The Amber Alert system is put into place for what?
Children.
Right? Kidnap children, right? But the Amber Alert system doesn't work for everybody the same because at times when something is reported, the police, the law enforcement may do their due diligence to pick it apart. So it could potentially be, I see this person as a runaway versus this person as a victim of kidnapping. When in fact, the runaway was kidnapped. And it takes a while to determine this. So what I mean when I'm saying emergency alert system, there are real biases there that are on the surface. So, but we still have it as a tool. It's just that there are real human biases there. Also, tools that you would have for your person, it's going to be the video conferencing app. So of course, like if you were trying to gauge who someone was and you maybe have your own intake form, you're able to have interviews through the Zoom, through the Google Meet. And that is something that is a layer of defense for yourself. It keeps you hands off as much as possible. Oh. When we're speaking to defensive posturing, of course, your voice and your presence is going to be your first line of defense. This is regardless of any personal defense tool that you may have outside of yourself. It has to be your voice, it has to be your presence. And your presence is the situational awareness. It is also the self-awareness. You're going to have your technology tools. You may decide that you want another type of external personal defense tool. This is where we start to get into the different levels of force, and we also start to get into what that looks like. So some may have a preference for pepper spray. Pepper spray is something that is effective in the sense that you're still able to keep distance between yourself and a threat. You may decide to have a personal alarm externally. So this means maybe the personal alarm is not attached to anything. So in my vehicle, if I engage my personal alarm or my vehicle's alarm, it sends a transmission to a 911 dispatcher that is like, if you would, nearby within the county. And they are able to communicate through the vehicle with me. All right. With personal alarms, such as what would potentially be on your wrist, a bracelet, charm bracelet, necklace. It could be a keychain. Those personal alarms usually are not attached to anyone or anything. So it's just something that makes noises and maybe flashes lights. With your tactical flashlights, tactical flashlights are good, especially when you're going into properties that may be investment properties or something that is going to be a cell, but it does not have electricity to it at all. All right, so your tactical flashlights are better than a rinky-dink Family Dollar flashlight because it has weight to it. It also, so it can be used as a personal defense tool. Tactical flashlight. Also, it has a different sort of lighting. So your lighting is more LED as opposed to just a little light bulb that is inside of the flashlight. Usually with those tactical flashlights, they're waterproof and they're able to like take a licking and keep on ticking, if you would. All right. Of course, you have your edge weapons. This would be what we would consider knives. You are able to have that as a part of your defensive posturing. I didn't put the pew pew on here. I didn't put the pew pew on here, but certainly we know that that is an option. So may I put you on the spot? It's okay. And I want all of your honesty. Oh, Lord. All right. So you have a pew pew. I heard you say it.
Maybe. She said it.
I Okay. How long have you been a gun owner? Excellent. You have your concealed carry permit, right? All right. And so with your pew pew, when is the last time that you've been to the range?
The range, or when's the last time I practiced with it?
When's the last time you've been to a shooting range? Come on, girl.
You can drive fire exercises with those. You can still keep up on
So
like posture and familiarity.
not, so definitely I'm all about that. But I'm asking, when's the last time that you've been to the range, the shooting range? With your personal defense tool?
I have not been in a while.
Okay, and so to her point, when's the last time that you dry fired a quick? Right.
No, it's been recent, within the last 30 days.
Wow. Prior to that.
Just got this one, so.
Okay.
Probably about April, May.
Okay, fair enough. And so here's my point and what I know about firearms and what any responsible gun owner knows. First of all, in North Carolina, you can have one as long as you have the money and you're able to purchase one. So I will start there. But shooting is a perishable skill. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. I don't care who you are. Doesn't matter your experience, doesn't matter what you've done in your past life or this life. If you're not practicing with that tool, you'll lose those skills. When I'm speaking to a defensive posturing with a pew pew, this goes beyond marksmanship shooting fundamentals, which dry firing would be excellent for. Now I'm speaking to the dynamic of defensive shooting fundamentals, and they're two totally different things. So when we are carrying, concealed carrying or open carrying, our tools, and the tool of choice is the pew pew, we absolutely want to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to train with that tool. Let's just say that you're like, hey, I don't want a pew pew. That's not my thing. I want pepper spray. Great. I'm going to tell you that you still should train with that tool, because this has to be about you being responsible with whatever tool of choice that you have. And I'm not here to debate of the tool of choice that you will have. I know what Andrea has, right? I'm responsible for myself, but in our responsibility, it has to be the training. If you say that you want a knife, it is the same aspect. You want to know what to do with that knife. Yes, sir.
So can we pause for just a few minutes?
Okay.
Because food is here, and I know I'm hungry. If we can, go through the working brunch stuff. I haven't got my knife. I left my pew pew. So if you would, we have investor title that has sponsored our food. There'll be some goodies for you guys to take with you. I'll give you some literature. So there's food in the kitchen. Bring it in here and we'll continue as we can eat coffee, juice, tea, bacon, sausage, pancakes, eggs. But more than I know, right? Biscuits and gravy. So we're gonna take a small technical sorry for you out there for not here. I will eat on your behalf. So we'll just take a quick break and then just bring your food in here. And we'll continue after Andrea gets something to eat as well. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all here. I let my keep you come.
You need another person. Amazing, great.
Thank you, Deesh.
Please don't be shy. I'm not. I can tell. Thank you, really, I appreciate it.
This is Tanisha, 1 second. Get my phone, because I'm talking on my watch. Okay. Hello.
So we kind of part of it.
Hi, how are you, Scotty? Yeah.
There'll be no judgment if you break the money over. It is land on the long way, 5 page. I didn't take the 50. Our great friend and inventor title and provided. No problem. I want to make sure that we get it.
You did. Mission accomplished. Where'd you get that little mug from? That's cute.
So this is one of the things that Investor Title brought over. She's full of great things.
Who's your person?
Ashley,
No, where before. We use what is it? Sterling table. That's her. They just, I love this. Oh, cute.
You just need this? Yeah.
Sure, go ahead and give it a try.
Tell you, these pens, I love it. They're blue. I'm a original beat guy. They write real nice.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got a pen, but it's, I way too many.
Yeah,
You writing pen, all about it.
especially in our line of work, right?
All right, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
They do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Remember when we were.
So this is how we roll, huh?
This is how we roll. Remember in the planning, and we were talking about all this?
Yes.
This is how we like to make it come
Awesome.
to fruition. Mhm.
Back number? I guess, I thought the person wasn't supposed to be here. They were like,
He's good people. Let's see. Before I became a real estate agent, I was a social worker, so that's my background. Yeah, that's my background too. I mean, I have a, well, I home visit is nothing, I home. Nothing, in Atlanta, I was on the love side.
Yeah, help yourself, believe me. Ashley is all about the things that are cute and are functional. I like,
Yes.
I say, you gotta be your own, cause the guy would have never brought it. I would have never brought nail files.
I'm always looking for them and can never.
Take 5.
How long is it?
Take 5.
They're tight and perfect.
2009 to 2019.
You got it, right there, man.
That's some good, that's good combat, experience. I was good working with adults when I started working with children and had to deal with children there, but it's not for me.
What you're missing out there in virtual world are the great items that you could have had with you. I understand, we're busy.
Yeah.
This is what it is. But I'm gonna say this, Ashley over the investor title. A nail file, fellas, you would not have brought a nail file. I definitely didn't think of a nail file. And she's got her branded on there, so it is what it is. So has being a previous social worker helped you in your line of work?
It has.
So you should need your pew pew, you just hit them with professionalism.
No, but I.
I mean, yeah, okay, all right. If it's an emotional event, if you feel that you have to do that,
I don't
so I've been told.
want to, so, but.
Yeah, no,
I've always been able to just, I've been in some tough situations before real estate.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I used to be what's called like on the ACT team, a certain community treatment team. And, you know, those are your schizoaffective, bipolar, schizophrenia disorders.
Yeah.
And we had to transport in our cars and all kinds of stuff, so
yeah,
real estate,
it's cakewalk.
cakewalk.
I'm with you. Wow. How long have you been in real estate, in this line of profession? Okay, 2019, same year you got your pew pew. All right, we were listening. How about you? I'll come back to you while you're chilling. 2019, okay. Ma'am, how long have you been in real estate?
Just a little bit over a year.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2, okay. Paula,
Well.
12, 6 months for me.
Oh, 6 years now.
Plus, it's somewhere around there, maybe. No, do I look old enough to be in 20 years? Barely old enough to buy alcohol. Ah, so enjoy, believe me, there's plenty. And if you feel like you want to take some to the office, do it. Don't ask, because I'm telling you, you want to take it back to your workspace or what have you, do that. There's plenty. So there is one thing that I wanted to do because I was in and out and there was a lot of good information that was happening. Be safe. I do want to ask a question though. Quiz time. Anybody remember Ashley's company? Does anybody remember Andrea's company? What is it? Silhouette? Okay, cool. There's no prize for that. I was just asking. You got a pin already. So is safety a one-day thing or is it an everyday thing? Everyday thing. And it doesn't have to be because you're a realtor or an investor or you're working with clients, but in your everyday life, there's something you can take and add to your life every day and share it with a friend, a family, an office mate, a coworker. Because I tell you, it's dangerous out there. Can be. So be safe as you move, especially you out there in virtual world. So enjoy yourselves. And once Andrea feels comfortable, we'll get going. There's no rush, but I appreciate your interactiveness. This makes it all worth it for us. So
Thank you for the food.
I didn't pay for it.
Thank you for investor title.
Yes, investor title, investor title. Believe me. Quick story. So she calls me this morning and she's like, oh my God, they're late. I was like, don't worry about it. We're good. So she would have addressed you. Thank you for being here. She was like, nope, they've already upset me and I'm not getting anything from Cracker Barrel ever again. I was like, they're not gonna care if you don't be mad at them. It's all good. Things happen. So no worries, no worries. So and why is investor title important? And I'll stop talking. I know we have buyers and sellers and we're at the closing table as often as we can be, right? Well, what does your closing attorney and their team do with title companies? They get involved with that. So what investor title does, just like every other company is, they want to save whatever clients they have or that you have, save money on that title coverage. So if you are involved deeply in that process, you can work with your processor and see if investor title works better for your buyers and your sellers. Because this is behind the scenes business. It really is. They'll look to see if there's some type of title coverage that's there. And if they are, they will renew it or not, or they'll reach out to their preferred title companies and see if they can assist your client. So that's why the title companies are important in our line of work. Just a little FYI. You may not even know who the title company is until you see it on this closing disclosure, but they are absolutely there. So if you're not back in virtual world, sorry, go get a sandwich or something. We're gonna have some breakfast from Cracker Barrel.
And thank you, Investors Title, for that great breakfast. We appreciate it. So I'm not going to prolong my time here. What I would love to do now is take questions, if you have any for me. And out there on the Zoom land, and I'm grateful for you being here. If you have any questions, I guess you can put it in the chat and whoever is monitoring the chat will be able to bring the questions here. Yes.
So, my question is, if you have a pew,
Yes.
how often do you recommend that a person go to the range and practice with?
Say it.
Pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love the question. So for me, I would have to say it would be at least once a month.
Okay.
However, there are layers in that you are able to kind of mitigate that because ammo's expensive.
Mhm.
And it may not be in the budget, and so you do have like your Mantis X platforms where you're able to dry fire. You have your other dry fire apps that allow you to kind of just attach a device onto your firearm to be able to use and practice just the marksmanship shooting fundamentals. But at a minimum, for individuals, I would say at least once a month, get the familiarity, because in addition to that, I would also say that as responsible gun owners, you want to clean your firearm at least once a month as well, to make sure that it serves you the way that it is supposed to. Yes.
What's the name of that app?
Mantis X. They have others like Strikeman. I cannot speak to the others. I can speak to Mantis X though. And where you're able to just use your phone. And of course, in using any sort of practicing with dry fire, you want to ensure that your firearm itself is clear. You also want to ensure that there is no ammo in the area that you are practicing the dry firing with. All right. So, yeah, don't want any sort of mishaps.
Okay.
Yes.
See it.
How do you suggest we find a personal defense tool that we're comfortable with? Say I'm not comfortable with a pew going on showing, someone else maybe. I think I'm more of a pepper spray girl, but in my head, maybe something may be a little bit better for me. How do you figure that we determine what best suits us?
Great question. And so certainly this is going to speak to what we've talked about before earlier, and that is that self-awareness. You know yourself. You know what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. You also know maybe some of the past experiences that you've had. And so when it comes to selecting a tool that's for you, it is about trying before you buy. Of course, I'm going to tell you to get with a professional, someone who is able to train with you on the different tools that you would like to use. Even if you're not familiar, typically an instructor or a teacher in that industry would be able to introduce you properly to that particular tool. So look for someone to kind of hire and guide you through and give you hands-on training. And then I also want to emphasize this. People believe that because they have the pew, they have the answer. Well, you do have the answer. I will say that, but it's not always the correct answer for a situation. And then this speaks to knowing how to layer yourself. So layering looks like, yes, I have my pew, but I also have pepper spray. I also have my stun gun on my person. Because I'm layering the tools, because all situations may not call for a pew, but it may call for me to deploy my pepper spray. So we kind of just want knowledge of who we are and what situations we're going to go into and what we're prepared to do. Any other questions?
I think that one of the most dangerous things that we do, that I personally have done, is farming. Farming in the real estate world means you're going door to door
Mm-hmm.
to either provide information or solicit information.
Okay.
I think because there are ways and apps and everything to prepare yourself to meet with someone for the first time for a showing, you can do that. But when farming, going door to door, you don't know who is behind there. I personally wouldn't want someone coming to my house with a pew pew on their, seeing the pew pew on their waist belt, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that, so I don't wanna be that person to go up and go farming with that.
So I'm sorry, I want to interrupt. So are you saying that I would not want to be the realtor who's going up to someone's home with a pew pew?
I wouldn't want someone coming to my house, so therefore I don't wanna be the realtor with a pew pew on my waist.
Okay.
Because I can understand how that is perceived. I'm coming to your house armed, and that's not, you know, a good perception for what you're trying to do. So what are recommendations, tips from everybody else here for farming in a safe way? Or just don't do it.
So let me, I
A lot
want
of people
to,
do it,
I'm gonna have to take that back from you.
yeah.
So in no way am I saying that the pew pew is the answer, nor am I saying that you as a realtor should carry the pew pew. My message has been clear on you carry whatever personal defense tool that you feel you are comfortable with. So that's first. But also to that point, my point throughout this whole presentation has been about self-awareness and situational awareness. Certainly, common sense, I would believe, says that I am not going to approach someone's house and I'm not law enforcement. I do not have a shield or a badge of any type, and that I'm going with my pew pew to say that I don't really find that to be realistic. So I'm pulling that back. I am also speaking to the point of, as a realtor, potentially, you may have a desire to own a firearm. Therefore, you may say, well, I know that this is not feasible. Me having an open carry like the state of North Carolina allows, I want my concealed carry permit. And so then we know that you have to go to a class. You have to take the class, pass the class successfully, and you would have to then apply for your permit through your county. In no way though, am I saying that you should walk up with any personal defense tool of your choice up to different people's homes to solicit any sort of business from them. And also to that information, there are laws in place that already say different things about different actions as responsible gun owners. So I would not find that to be responsible. I wouldn't even do that myself. And I could probably outshoot everybody in this room. I'm almost guaranteeing it. All right? I don't even do that. So, okay, I just wanted to say. What other questions?
So just to defend myself, I've never done that.
It's not an attack. It's not an attack.
I did question, what is a safe way to go about going door to door, other than maybe going to the park?
So that's a different question than the question that you initially gave. So again, I'm just pulling it back because I want to make sure that you understand. I am not saying go with a firearm. That does not matter. What I am saying, and the message is clear, whatever personal defense tool that you choose for yourself, and there are a number of them for realtors, you absolutely want to make sure that you are properly trained on that particular tool. When we're speaking about going door to door, I know you will probably ask your colleagues, and that is fine, but I've also said, when you're in the field, if you would, you want the accountability. You want to make sure that someone is tracking you. You want to make sure that you are using those technological tools, such as I like Forewarn. but that's just me, but I like it. I like that for myself right now as I'm standing here. I love it because it gives you all of the information that you need. So when someone's calling you, you're able to see exactly who they are with the public records that's out there for them. I love it. I believe in that. I'm gonna see if I can get a partnership with them. All right, but you have those tools. So it would be those tools, but also it has to be understanding that certain environments, it may not be conducive to the term farming. I don't know that I could maybe farm in my neighborhood, but maybe a couple of neighborhoods up the road, that's not good for me. So it is about having that situational awareness. But that's my answer. What are your answers? She wants to hear from her colleagues,
I'm
huh?
not doing it. I don't farm. Cause you don't know who's, cause it looks like I have on my door, no solicitation.
Yeah, and I don't even bother those people.
Yeah.
Right,
So, yeah. I think some people do farm, a lot of people don't, but one thing I will say is, you're not, when you're out farming, you're not just, having to protect yourself from people, right? You got dogs.
Yeah.
So I feel like something like a concealed spray or something might be more appropriate. And two, when you're knocking on somebody's door, you're not just standing right there at the door waiting on them to
Back
come.
up.
Right, step down from the steps, maybe showing your hand that you got a little drop off realtor thing, you got on something that's identifying you as a realtor, whether it's a t-shirt or a hat that says I'm a realtor, right? Something that's identifying yourself as farming. I've been reading a lot on farming, and some people consider it dangerous, and some people will get out and do it, some people won't, but for those who will do it, I think it's important to follow those steps of precaution so that nobody. Cause I'm gonna tell you, if you come to our house, it does say no soliciting, and my wife answered the door, you probably don't wanna be on the other side. It's just, so you have to have tough skin, you have to take those precautions when you farm.
Agreed. Are there any other questions? Comments or concerns?
I know I got a lot. I did wanna say there is a forewarn training here tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Go online and check it out, but I think it's a webinar. I took the webinar, maybe a month or so ago, and it's very informative. I think, when we do our meeting with those clients, we should be running their name, their information through Forewarn, and, learning something about them.
Don't use it for things that are outside of what's good for real estate.
That's right, I did hear that as well, don't use it outside the scope of real estate. They did mention that on the webinar, good information. But definitely check it out, cause it's free, it's free, it's an hour. And the lady who hosted, I forget her name, she's very good, she takes questions at the end, she does really good at explaining on how to use forewarn for realtors, so, if you can log on and check it out tomorrow. It'd be good.
What's tomorrow? What time?
I think it's tomorrow. I think I was looking on the calendar and I saw it tomorrow.
I'll get the.
I love that.
Yes.
And so, basically, if there are no other questions, again, my name is Andrea Williams. I'm the owner of Silhouette's Firearms Training, which we are transitioning to Silhouette's Personal Safety and Defense Solutions. I will see you all, I hope, at the rally on the 16th, where I will have a few of those tools and also be able to share some techniques and just have an engagement with the people there with the offerings that I may have that may suit you. And I just really appreciate you all taking the time to be here with me today and have this conversation about preventative measures that we can take.
One question, if someone wanted to reach you outside of today, but prior to the rally, how can they reach you by way of phone number, social media, how can they get in contact with you?
And so my phone number is 910-403-2279. That is a business phone, so it is not monitored 24/7, y'all. But you are able to text, you're able to call, and you're also able to leave voicemail. And of course, I have my email address, which is info@silhouettesnc.com. That is info@silhouettesnc.com. And I answer those emails. And that is it.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to, one note to my virtual world, in all seriousness, thank you for logging on, joining us, all great information, good questions. It's an everyday event. It really is. So take it serious. Take these things that you've heard from each other and from Andrea that, hey, we can do better for ourselves and for people around us. So if there are no further questions, make sure you get your tickets to the rally. Get your tickets to the rally. Get your tickets to the rally. I can't say it enough. It's for us. One thing I do like to use is forewarn. She's absolutely correct. You can, at the touch of a button, you can get some understanding and get some clarity about the clients and the communities that we serve. So believe me, use your tools. They're there for you. They're there for us. So if anyone has any questions, any comments, concerns, thank you all for coming. If you want to take some food with you, please do. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. DEI is a committee that is for you if you feel it is for you. Put your name on the committee volunteer list. We will accept you and we will all have great things and ideas so we can do better for each other. All right?
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.